Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, as of 12:50, the options chain for SpaceX. Options volume, obviously, you knew it was going to be huge. Calls at the beginning, outpacing puts almost 2-to-1. So listen, we got a little bat phone here. We had to make a phone call. Jon Najarian, co-founder Market Rebellion, is with us. My man, golly, so just tell me what you're seeing so far compared to the debuts of other big names and their options in the past.
Sure. Well, Charles, this shattered all the records. Everywhere you look, there's a record being shattered. The largest IPO in history. As far as the options trading, Charles, Facebook traded about 340,000 calls and puts the day it debuted. And that's a long time ago, I know, but it held the record for 14 years.
Wow.
Now it's been smashed. We're over 1 million options traded in SpaceX already. And I think you and I both know why. I mean, you're an options guy. I'm an options guy. You can limit your risk with options. You can't in the stock. I mean, you buy that stock at 212 on your screen right now. It could be 240 or it could be 140. I mean, but with the option, you can define exactly how much you're risking. And I think that's why a lot of speculative paper, retail and institutional, is flowing into this one right now.
So when I pulled up the screen, my strikes go just at 235. The producer just asked right before we came on, the highest strike you're seeing. Did I hear $380?
You did, Charles. And there was volume in this week expiring on Friday, just 3 days hence, the 315 calls for this week. So, I mean, people are it is a feeding frenzy. Is it something people should be a little more cautious about? Yes, they should. But on the other hand, far be it from me to tell them they shouldn't make money. I mean, anybody that bought these right out of the gate this morning is making money today.
Wow.
Now, does that keep happening all the way through Friday? I don't know.
Right.
Obviously, a lot of bets against this one and a very small float relative to the total shares.
John, Phil just sort of alluded to a potential gamma squeeze. A lot of folks in the audience are not familiar with it. Just explain quickly what it is and the possibility.
Sure. Well, a lot of folks that are short the stock and or have elected now to short some of these call options are being squeezed in a big way. They probably figured, 190 yesterday, that's way too high. Well, $20, $30 higher, they're getting squeezed very hard. And right now, from what we're seeing, the near-term volatility, Charles, this morning peaked at about 195. That's against a VIX right now of about 16. That's the S&P 500, of course. But if you look around at like a peer, if you will, something like Microsoft or NVIDIA, something in the tech sector that's $1 trillion monster as well, the volatility here is easily 6 to 8 times higher than it is in those stocks that I just mentioned. So, yeah, a lot of speculation and an awful lot of very bullish bets being placed.
Yeah, I mean, all these calls buying may force the adjustment in books. That sends the stock higher. It's a fortuitous cycle. And you just mentioned Microsoft. I want to ask you about some of these other big tech names because they're getting a lot of action today too, aren't they?
Oh yeah. I realize that the Nasdaq flipped over to the red just today, but a lot of these names I think were tapped by the owners of those shares in the last few days so that they could get into the SpaceX IPO. Same thing in gold, silver, Bitcoin, and in some of the space names as well. I think they were selling some of those to get into SpaceX. And that's why I think you're seeing a little bit of red on the screen in some of those bigger names because, of course, what are you going to tap? Well, the ones that you made the most money in so far this year. And then I think a lot of that will rotate back in now that you've had such a big pop right here. But yeah, this is, again, NVIDIA might trade a couple million options in a day, but to see this one trading this much, this early, the very first day, tells you that it's probably not over. People are still going to be trading this one for weeks and months to come, Charles.
What's the skew right now? I mean, early on it looked like it was 2-to-1 calls to puts.
Very close, very close. It's a 0.6, the put call ratio 0.6. So that's obviously pretty darn close to that 2-to-1 calls to puts trading. So there's some hedging going on with those puts, but there's an awful lot more speculation on the call side. And I think a lot of people are trying to limit their losses on the stock. Some of the shorts out there, like Jim Chanos and some of the other folks that have popped off about how this thing's overvalued, they're probably trying to cap off some of that upside risk, that gamma chase that you're talking about.
You know, it's amazing to me, and I'll talk about it again later. I got another great SpaceX guest coming on. Some of these folks who made a lot of money in the past and were very successful, but they're so wedded to negativity, they just keep missing out on opportunity after opportunity. I just hope a lot of folks out there don't listen to them and rather listen to people like you, Jon. Thanks a lot, Jon Najarian.
Thank you very much,
See you
Charles.
soon, buddy.
Keep
All
up
right,
the
folks.
great work.
You too. Thanks. Hey, coming up.